Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a huge new report that lays out a pretty bold vision for every single school in England. So, let's get right into it.
So here's the big question at the heart of it all. Is our school system actually getting kids ready for the world they're going to face? It's all about making sure every young person has the right knowledge and skills to really thrive.
To figure this out, the Curriculum and Assessment Review brought together a whole panel of experts. And their verdict? Well, let's just say it's a pretty clear call for some major changes.
Okay, but before you can start building for the future, right? You've got to figure out what's wrong today. So the review started by looking at fairness and opportunity. And what it found was a system with some pretty serious cracks.
And right away, the review found something pretty stark, what they're calling an opportunity gap. Just look at this data on triple science. Non-disadvantaged students are more than twice as likely to take it. And that's a huge deal, because that course is a key gateway to so many careers in science and tech.
And it's not just science either. Take a look at modern foreign languages. Only about a third of disadvantaged students take a language GCSE. But for their more advantaged peers, it's half. That's a big difference.
So you might be asking, what's behind all this? Is it just about what students choose to study? Well, the review found something crucial. It's not just about choice, it's about what's even available. I mean, look at this table. Less than half of the most disadvantaged schools even offer design and technology.
Okay, so with all these problems laid out, what's the plan? What's the solution? The vision here isn't to just tear everything down. It's about evolving the curriculum, weaving in new, modern themes to get every student ready for the world ahead.
The idea here is to weave 5 really critical themes. Think of them as threads through a student's entire time at school. These aren't supposed to be new subjects, but more like essential lenses for looking at the world from day one right up to graduation.
Let's take financial education. I mean, think about it. The review makes a really powerful point here. Our habits and attitudes about money, they form when we're young. So shouldn't every kid learn about budgeting and debt in school?
And this is the genius of it, really. It's not about cramming more subjects into an already packed schedule. It's about being smart. You learn a concept like percentages in your maths class, and then you apply that exact concept to real-world stuff like loans in your citizenship class. It just makes sense.
And you know, this same thinking applies to media literacy too. We live in a world flooded with misinformation, with AI content everywhere. The review argues the best defense isn't just a list of skills, it's having a strong foundation of knowledge so you can actually think critically about what you're seeing.
All right, so that's the big vision. But what does it actually look like in the classroom? How does it change what's taught? And just as important, how it's all tested. This is the blueprint.
First up, the blueprint looks at subjects that are, well, they're in decline. Get this. Design and technology has seen a 69% drop in students taking it since 2010. That is a staggering number, and the review says that's a huge loss of creative and problem-solving skills our economy really needs.
So, how do you turn that ship around? The plan is to completely reframe D&T, make it more ambitious, more exciting, focus on how design works in the real world, and make a crystal clear link between the skills you learn and actual careers in creative industries.
Now, this is a big one. One of the major proposals is to get rid of the English Baccalaureate, or the EBAC, as a performance measure. It was designed to push a specific set of academic subjects, but the review found it was just too rigid and it never even hit its own targets.
So what's the fix? Well, it's about keeping the principle of a broad academic core, but making it way more flexible. Instead of this separate, high-pressure measure, it gets rolled into the main way schools are judged, Progress 8. It gives schools more freedom while still making sure that strong academic foundation is valued.
Okay, let's talk science. The big headline here is a real game changer. The review recommends a new entitlement to study triple science for any student who wants to. This directly tackles that opportunity gap we saw earlier. It makes it a right, not a postcode lottery.
And this push for reform, it's not just happening in science. We're seeing it across the board, from English and history all the way to music and PE. The goal is always the same: freshen up the content, make it more inclusive, and make sure it reflects how these subjects actually work in the real world.
So let's pull all this together. What does it all mean? And probably the biggest question on everyone's mind, every teacher, parent, and student, when could we actually see these changes in schools?
The key phrase from the report itself is evolution, not revolution. And that tells you a lot. This isn't about tearing the whole system down overnight. It's about careful, considered change that doesn't create chaos for schools.
So what that means in practice is a slow and steady process. The plan is to start drafting the new curriculum content in late 2025. Then there'll be a public consultation in 2026. And after that, you can expect a careful, staged rollout over the next few years.
At the end of the day, all these details, all these recommendations, they're all driving towards one simple, really powerful goal: to finally build a truly world-class education that gives every single kid a real chance to succeed, no matter where they come from.
Look, there's no doubt the plan is ambitious, and it's backed by a lot of evidence. But its success really boils down to one thing: turning this vision into reality in thousands of classrooms. The blueprint is here, but the real test, that's going to be in the implementation for every single student across the country.